Hello everyone. If you'd like to explore more of Portugal after visiting Lisbon, we have 3 amazing recommendations for you. The best part? You can reach all 3 cities from Lisbon in just about 1 to 1.5 hours. Our first stop is Tomar, rich in the legacy of the Knights Templar. This historic town is definitely worth a visit for its impressive monastery and peaceful atmosphere. Our second recommendation is Evora, a UNESCO World Heritage city. Evora takes you on a journey through time with its chapel of bones, Roman temple, narrow cobblestone streets, and beautiful white and yellow painted houses. Our final stop is Obidos, a fairy tale medieval town, with its ancient walls, flower-filled streets, and postcard-perfect scenery. It's one of the most beautiful destinations in Portugal. If you want to add some unique experiences to your Lisbon trip, these 3 cities should definitely be on your list. Now let's take a closer look at these incredible destinations together. First, we head up to the hill where Convento de Cristo is located. This is not only one of the most important historical monuments in Tomar, but also one of the most significant landmarks in all of Portugal, and it is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The story of this place begins with the Knights Templar, a military and religious order founded in the 12th century. The Knights Templar were established to protect Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land during the Crusades. Over time, they became one of the most powerful and wealthy organizations in Europe. In 1160, the Knights Templar chose Tomar as their headquarters and built a castle and a place of worship here. The foundations of the Convento de Cristo that we see today were laid during that period. When the Knights Templar were dissolved in the 14th century, the King of Portugal created the Order of Christ to preserve their legacy. This new order later played a significant role during Portugal's famous Age of Discovery. One of the most impressive parts of the complex is the Carilla, the circular main chapel. It is one of the oldest sections where the Knights Templar worshipped, inspired by the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. This remarkable structure captivates visitors with its golden decorations and stunning architectural details. The octagonal structure at the center of the Carilla was designed to symbolize the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. For the Knights Templar, it was a way of creating a spiritual connection with the Holy Land. The paintings surrounding it depict the life of Jesus, his crucifixion, and his resurrection. Decorated with saints, angels, and religious symbols, this space served as a place of worship where people in the Middle Ages could learn about their faith through visual storytelling. Another important feature of the convent is the Manueline window. Considered one of the masterpieces of Portuguese art, this window is decorated with maritime symbols, rope motifs, and ornaments representing the Age of Discovery. It reflects the spirit of the period when Portugal became a major maritime power. We also explored the peaceful cloisters, the arcaded inner courtyards, and the dormitory sections of the monastery. These spaces, which housed the daily lives of monks for centuries, showcase architectural elements from different periods and reveal the rich history of the complex. We are now in Parque de Marcha, one of Tomar's most peaceful and picturesque spots. Located on a small island in the middle of the Naba River, this park is much more than just a green space. It is often considered Tomar's gateway to nature. The island has long been connected to the river that helped shape Tomar's history and development. Parc de Mauchau is also a favorite gathering place for both locals and visitors. People come here to walk, relax, read a book, or simply enjoy the scenery. The park's shaded paths and riverside views make it an ideal place to escape the busy pace of everyday life. One of the park's most distinctive features is the traditional water wheel, known as the Nora, which was once used to lift water from the river for irrigation. Nearby, we saw the old mill, a reminder of how the power of the Naba River was used for centuries to support local agriculture and daily life. Now we are walking through Praça da República, the main square and the heart of Tomar, for centuries. This has been the city's most important meeting place, where markets, celebrations, and everyday life have taken place. Even today, it remains a lively gathering point surrounded by historic buildings, cafes, and traditional Portuguese architecture. One of the highlights of the square is the Church of São João Baptista, located at its highest point. Built between the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries, this beautiful church combines Gothic and Manueline architectural styles. Its elegant bell tower and richly decorated entrance immediately catch the eye. The church was closely connected to the Order of Christ and played a significant role in the spiritual life of the city. As we spend a few moments here in Praça da República, take in the unique atmosphere of this historic square. It is the perfect place to experience the character of Tomar, where centuries of history continue to blend seamlessly with daily life. Now we're visiting the world's largest matchbox museum, Museu dos Fósforos. This museum is home to around 40,000 matchboxes collected from all over the world and is said to hold the largest matchbox collection on the planet. The owner and founder of this unique collection is Aqueles da Mota Lima. He began collecting matchboxes in 1953 and gradually became deeply passionate about the hobby. Over the years, he gathered thousands of matchboxes from more than 120 countries around the world. As you walk through the museum, you're not just looking at matchboxes, you're also discovering the history and culture of different countries. Some feature historical events, others showcase famous landmarks, works of art, athletes, or advertisements from their era. Each display case feels like a small window into the past. We really enjoyed our visit here. If you ever come to Tomar and would like to experience something a little different from the usual museums, this place is definitely worth a visit. Finally, we're walking through the narrow historic streets of Tomar. These streets, winding between stone houses, with colorful flowers decorating the windows and a peaceful atmosphere all around, lead us to the Tomar Synagogue, built in the mid-15th century. The synagogue is considered one of the best preserved medieval synagogues surviving in Portugal today. From the outside, the building looks quite simple, but once you step inside, it offers a very different atmosphere. The 4 columns supporting the ceiling are particularly striking. These columns are said to symbolize the 4 matriarchs of Israel. While exploring Tomar's rich history, I believe this is one of the places that should not be missed. Now we are at one of Evora's most unusual and most visited landmarks, the Chapel of Bones. At first glance, it may seem a little unsettling because the walls, columns, and arches surrounding you are covered with thousands of human bones. However, the purpose of this place is not to frighten visitors. Built by Franciscan monks in the 16th century, the chapel was designed to remind people that life is temporary and that death is inevitable for everyone. A famous inscription at the entrance conveys this message very clearly. "We bones that are here await yours, as soon as you step inside." You encounter not only an extraordinary structure, but also a powerful idea that has inspired reflection for centuries. In one of the stories told here, these mummies were believed to belong to a father and his son who treated their mother badly. According to the legend, on her deathbed, the mother cursed them, saying, "May the earth of your graves never decompose you." However, later scientific examinations revealed that the mummies actually belonged to two women. The poem displayed beside them reminds visitors of the transience of life and the fact that everyone is equal in the face of death. While wandering through the historic streets of Évora, this is one of those places that makes you pause for a moment and reflect on life and the passage of time. Our next stop is Praça do Geraldo, the vibrant square considered the heart of Évora and the point where all the city's streets seem to converge. Named after Geraldo Sempavor, the knight who played a key role in the conquest of the city in the 12th century. This square has remained Évora's social and commercial center for centuries. The elegant marble fountain at the center of the square, together with the 16th century Renaissance-style Igreja de Santo Antônio rising beside it, gives the area its distinctive character. Surrounded by historic arcades, this space was once the setting for markets, celebrations, and important public events. Sitting at one of the cafes around the square with a cup of coffee, you can experience both Évora's historic atmosphere and the rhythm of everyday local life. The shops surrounding the square offer handmade porcelain, colorful ceramics, cork products, and traditional souvenirs typical of the Alentejo region, for anyone looking to take home a small keepsake that reflects the culture of Évora. This is one of the most enjoyable places to browse before leaving the city. We are now standing in front of one of Évora's most fascinating landmarks, the Água de Prata aqueduct, built in the 16th century to supply the city with fresh water. This impressive structure is considered one of the great engineering achievements of its time. Stretching for kilometers, the aqueduct served as a vital lifeline for the city for centuries. What makes Água de Prata truly unique, however, is not just its history. As Évora expanded over time, small houses, shops, and passageways were built between some of its arches. As a result, the aqueduct evolved from a simple piece of infrastructure into an integral part of the city's daily life. Walking through these streets today, it is quite remarkable to see a house entrance or a shop front nestled beneath one of the ancient arches. This unusual sight perfectly illustrates how Évora's historic heritage and modern life coexist side by side. Today, the Água de Prata aqueduct is one of the city's most photographed landmarks, offering visitors a unique perspective on Évora's rich past. Now we are standing in front of the Ser Cathedral, one of Évora's most important landmarks. Built between the 12th and 13th centuries, this impressive structure is considered one of the largest medieval cathedrals in Portugal. From the outside, its fortress-like walls and magnificent facades with twin towers immediately capture your attention. Once inside, you are greeted by the cathedral's remarkable architecture. The soaring arches, stone columns, and intricate decorations showcase the elegance of Gothic design. The main altar, adorned with striking gold detailing, and the historic pipe organ are among the cathedral's most impressive features. Having hosted religious services and important ceremonies for centuries, This place continues to leave a lasting impression on its visitors today. One of the most unforgettable experiences at the Sur Cathedral is climbing up to the rooftop terrace. After making your way up the narrow staircases, you are rewarded with one of the finest views in Évora. From here, you can admire the city's red-tiled rooftops, whitewashed houses, narrow streets, and the vast Alentejo plains stretching all the way to the horizon. Seeing the city's historic landscape from above is truly a unique experience. Before concluding our visit, we also stopped by the cathedral's peaceful cloister. Surrounded by historic stone walls, this tranquil space is a perfect place to step away from the crowds and take in the atmosphere of the building. The tombs of important religious figures located here add a distinct sense of history to the setting. With its impressive architecture, richly decorated interior, and breathtaking views, the Sur Cathedral is undoubtedly one of the must-see attractions in Évora. The most famous Roman remains in Évora are the Roman Temple, more commonly known as the Temple of Diana, located in the heart of the city. This structure is considered one of the most important legacies of Évora's Roman past that has survived to the present day. Believed to have been built during the 1st or 2nd century, the temple still impresses visitors with its strong columns that have remained standing despite the passage of centuries. Although the entire structure has not survived, the remaining sections are enough to convey how important Évora once was as a Roman settlement. Surrounded by historic buildings, cobblestone streets, and the atmosphere of the city square, this site is much more than a simple ruin. It has become one of the most powerful symbols that defines the identity of Évora. Just a short walk from the temple, Diana Park offers a pleasant place to take a break. From here, you can admire the temple from different angles while enjoying Évora's peaceful atmosphere. The Roman temple and its surroundings are among the best places in the city to experience the traces of its ancient past. This is Jardim Público de Évora, the public garden of Évora, located right next to the city's historic center. This park is a peaceful space where both locals and visitors come to relax and enjoy the surroundings. Within the park stands the Palace of Dom Manuel, built in the late 15th century during the reign of King Manuel I. It was once one of the royal family's most important residences in Évora. The Palace of Dom Manuel also holds a special place in Portuguese history. It is said that some of the royal instructions given to Vasco da Gama before his famous voyage to India were issued here. As you walk through the park, you will also come across several historical remains. Scattered throughout the gardens are sections of ancient walls, arches, and stone structures from earlier periods. These remnants serve as a reminder of Évora's rich, layered history shaped by different civilizations over the centuries. However, the park's most beloved residents are undoubtedly its peacocks. Freely roaming through the gardens, these colorful birds immediately attract attention, especially when they spread their magnificent tails. Wandering among the historic buildings and green landscapes, the peacocks add a unique sense of elegance and charm to the park. As we leave the park, we once again find ourselves unable to resist browsing the shops selling traditional ceramic products unique to the region. We then continue through Évora's narrow streets, lined with its iconic yellow and white painted houses, making our way toward one of the city's historic gateways. We are now standing in front of Porta de Raimundo, one of Évora's most important historic gateways. For centuries, this was one of the main entrances used by merchants, travelers, and visitors arriving in the city. It is said that the gate takes its name from a knight called Ramundo, who lived in this region many centuries ago. Although it has undergone several restorations over time, it is still considered one of the landmarks that reflects Evora's medieval character. Obidos is just 1 hour from Lisbon. There are some towns where the moment you pass through the very first gate, time changes. The streets slow you down. The stone walls pull you into the past, and you stop being just a visitor, becoming part of a story that has been told for centuries. Óbidos is exactly that kind of place. So come on, let's explore this beautiful town together. A breathtaking medieval town built on a hilltop. Here it feels as though the years never changed the scene at all. With its yellow-white and blue-white houses, walls decorated with purple bougainvillea, and ancient stone ramparts stretching around it. This is not a place where time merely slows down. It almost stops completely. Now we're stepping into the call of stone streets, queens, and ancient kingdoms. The first place you enter is Porta da Vila. From the outside it seems simple, a stone gateway, a heavy door, an old wall. But the moment you step inside, the atmosphere changes. A small chapel decorated with blue and white azulejo tiles quietly yet powerfully welcomes you. These azulejo panels are not merely decorative. They are seen as a symbolic transition, combining religious protection, royal power, and Portuguese identity. Passing through Porta da Vila was never just about physically entering the town. It meant leaving behind the chaotic outside world. Once, kings passed through this gate. Warriors, merchants, nuns, knights. And now, we do too. This space also has such remarkable acoustics that street musicians seem to compete with one another, filling it with music for every visitor. And as the narrow stone streets draw you further inside, you begin to realize this is not just a preserved town. It is living history. Óbidos' story stretches back to Roman times. In 1148, this strategic town was conquered by Portugal's first king, Afonso I of Portugal. Over time, it became far more than a military fortress. In 1282, King Denis of Portugal gave Óbidos to his wife, Elizabeth of Aragon, as a wedding gift. Imagine that, not a palace, not jewels, an entire town. That is why Óbidos became known for centuries as the town of queens. The queens who followed protected it, shaped it, and left their mark. And perhaps that is why, when you walk here today, you feel not only the strength of a fortress. Without question, one of the town's most impressive features is its walls. These ancient stone ramparts, stretching approximately 1.5 kilometers around the town, have stood for centuries. On one side, red rooftops, on the other. Endless green landscapes. But the path along the walls is narrow, there are no railings. It is high, and with every step, you tread carefully not only because of the height. Watching over it all is the majestic castle of Óbidos. Once built for defense, this grand fortress serves a different purpose today. It feels as though every corner hides another story. Perhaps a siege, perhaps a royal wedding, or perhaps simply waiting. It is equally unforgettable because of its small details. Flower-filled balconies, handmade ceramics, soft music rising through narrow streets. And at the town's center, its church still stands proudly after centuries of worship. When you're in Lisbon, don't miss the chance to visit these towns, all located within just 1.5 hours of the capital. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. See you again in our next video.